Today, we're going to learn how to paint red on your army. I'm Warwick from harder&steenbeck, and I'm really happy to turn you over to the wonderful Andy Wardle from Cultofpaint, multiple award-winning miniature painter. So here you go, Andy. Show us how to do red.
Hey everyone, it's Andy here from Cultofpaint. In this video, I'm going to show you how to paint a really powerful red in quite a simple way that's perfect for tabletop. And I'm also going to give you some advanced tips to get deeper shading into it as well. We've already done a video showing you how to do a pre-highlight for your miniatures. And I think this is really important for painting red. So if you haven't already, check out that video, and that's going to give you the steps you need to do to get ready to paint this awesome looking red. Red doesn't have amazing coverage, so I think having the white on before from the pre-highlight is really going to help it to do a nice powerful color. And with that in mind, I actually want to start with the brightest red. So I've got here some Citadel Evil Sunz Scarlet, and that's the brightest red I'm going to use, and I actually want to begin with that rather than do it at the end. And this is going to make sure it's nice and punchy, and if it's too bright, it's so easy to knock it back. I'm using the Evolution brush. I've got a 0.4 setup, the 5ml cup, and my PSI is going to be around 25, something like that. I'm using Vallejo airbrush thinner for this, for a Citadel paint, and you don't need to use the Citadel air paints either. The normal layer paints are fantastic. I'm thinning with about 3 parts thinner to 1 part paint, there or thereabouts. So I've got my miniature, the paint is thinned in the airbrush, and what I'll always do is just check on a little bit of paper next to the miniature. I can do a test spray, make sure the airbrush is running well, and I've got my dilution more or less correct. Then I'm going to start on the back of the miniature, something not so important like the back of the leg, and just slowly spray on this paint. So you can see it's already looking really punchy with just 1 layer of paint. So I'm going to continue and just spray that over the whole miniature. I tried to put a layer of paint down, then move around. So you don't want to stack up and build up too much paint because it will start to run and spider leg and things like that. So in general, just spray carefully and move the miniature around to make sure we get a really nice even coverage. You can see here on the shoulder pads how useful that pre-highlight is, because it's not doing too much over the black, but over the white areas, it's looking really nice. You can see the first layer, it hasn't done too much, it looks a little bit pink, but we want to build up in a couple thin layers just to make sure it's really smooth. So have a bit of patience and it's going to be totally worth it. So I'm going to apply my second coat now over what I've already done, but make sure it's bone dry before you do that. Now this second coat, really starting to be a beautiful, rich red we're after. And this is why we do the pre-highlight, and also why I like to start with the brightest red. If you're batch painting models, like doing a whole army, you can do 1 coat on 1 miniature, move on and do the rest, and by the time you've done even just a squad of 10, the first one's probably going to be dry, so it's not too bad on the time. Once that second layer of red is dried, you can see it already looks fantastic. If you wanted to do your army quickly, you could actually just leave this there and then go ahead with your washes for the recesses, some extra highlighting with the brush, anything you want to do. More advanced thing you can do to add further depth to the shadows is actually to go back in now with a darker color, and we'll probably spray that from below just to try and enhance the shadows we've already got a head start on from our pre-highlight. So in the airbrush, I've got some Corn Red, which is a much darker red than Evil Sun Scarlet, so it's going to be perfect for shading. Once again, I've got the same kind of dilution in the airbrush, around 3:1 thinner to paint, and I'll just check that's running smooth here on something to the side. In general, I'm probably going to want to be spraying sort of upward towards the model. So I'm going to tip it upside down, trying to catch some of the shadows here. So I'm going to get my brush, and this holder is quite easy to get access into the miniature, and just start to spray in some more shadows. And be quite careful with this because I don't want to ruin the lovely highlights I've done, but holding at this angle means it's going to be quite difficult for me to catch those highlights. But this just makes the shadows look a little bit richer, as the red over the black can be a little bit dull. Here on the inside of the leg, that's a great part we want to have nice and dark. So I'm just going to hold it away and start to build up those shadows where I think they're going to be dark. And I think you'll probably only need one application of this paint. It's got good coverage, and we're just trying to make it a little bit darker. So maybe 1 to 2 passes and it's going to be finished. So that's my red finished, and you can see adding that darker shade, it looks really cool now. We've got loads of nice contrast, and I'm sure a whole army of these would look amazing on the table. And we've created a really dramatic effect in a really short amount of time, and we only need 2 paints as well. So I think this is a really efficient way to paint your army miniatures, and I hope you agree it's a really nice looking red. But my biggest takeaway is for red, start with the brightest one. And if it's going over a pre-highlight or a light base coat, that really helps to save layers of paint and get a more vibrant color. Hope you've enjoyed it, and if you want to check out some other ways to approach some different colors, there's going to be more videos to come. I work for a company called Cult of Paint. We specialize in painting tuition. We do video tutorials every week over on YouTube, and we do advanced tutorials over on Patreon as well. We also do in-person classes. We just love to teach people painting. If you like these tutorials, please check out Cult of Paint and everything we do.